was a slow song. The lights were so low. I held you so close, I could feel your heart beating next to mine. Then I kissed you once, and my head started spinning twice, like a merry-go-round. 3 times, and I felt so deep in love with you, baby. Oh. Now we've got to sit back and check this thing out, baby. It's not like me to fall so deep, so soon. I don't know what's happening, baby. I don't know what's coming over me. But when I kiss you once, my head starts to spin twice. Oh, like a merry-go-round. 3 times. Oh, I felt so deep in love with you, baby.
Peace, 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 people. What's up, baby? Bob Copper, interesting name. Thank you all for appearing. If you have not yet, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. We want to talk about one of the things that we're able to do in America that a lot of places are not allowed to do. And I'll go through some of the things that are happening. Shout out to Seven Galley and Alexis also for pointing out, which I did see the video of the Nigerian woman that's jailed for speaking about some tomato paste, which she's a food reviewer, which is supposed to be her job to be able to talk about the food. But now she's landed in some hot water for reviewing this tomato paste. And I don't know why Africans are not speaking about this story. Let's get to a small clip about it, and then we'll get more into details about the situation.
Woman reviewed some tomato puree, and now she's in jail. You may have seen this headline. So, what did she say? She asked her 18,000 followers on Facebook what they thought about a specific tomato puree. She had bought this brand in place of her usual brand, but found it too sweet. one person replied, "Stop spoiling my brother's product. If you don't like it, use another one, then bring it to social media or call the customer service." She responded with, "Help me advise your brother to stop killing people with this product. Yesterday was my first time of using, and it's pure sugar." She's now charged with instigating people against the food manufacturer, and if found guilty, she faces up to 3 years in jail and or a $5,000 fine. Did you know a Nigerian woman reviewed...
Again, she is a food reviewer. I don't know. I thought it was 7 years. So let me try to find them where they talked about it more. Let me get to when she was crying. No, let me look at that. Okay, let's get to this one. But freedom of speech does not exist in Africa, apparently. And, you know, for us to dumb ourselves down and want to go over there, knowing that this is the type of thing that you'll have to endure, I don't see why we would, again, prop up other cultures that is infringing on freedoms of speech or rights to be human or recognized as a woman. And you double down speaking on other cultures as if it's godly like. And it's really pathetic that Pan-Africans and $5 Africans come to Black Americans with that bullshit. So hopefully this will wake people up.
In September of 2023, after attending a program at a church in the Ogudu area of Lagos State, Chioma Okoli, a young mother, was apprehended by members of the Nigerian police force. She was subsequently detained and arrested. Her purported crime, a social media post she had shared on her Facebook page a few days earlier, expressing dissatisfaction with the taste of a tin tomato mix she had purchased.
So when I opened the Nigerian tomato mix, I tasted it. The sugar content was much.
The product in question, known as Najiko tomato mix, is manufactured by Arisco Foods Limited, whose CEO, Chief Eric Umofia, lodged a complaint with the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria, alleging that Ms. Okoli was the ringleader of a criminal syndicate aiming to sabotage his company.
She's simple evil in my own judgment, and it cannot be allowed. If she have good intention, she will have proven her case by bringing the sample. In fact, she's not a customer. Then there's not that there is some, there is police to report to, there is a federal concern position unit. She didn't do all these things before she go online.
I don't belong to any syndicate. If there is one, let Eric Umofia say the name.
She is now facing charges under Section 24(1) of the Cybercrimes Act of 2015. Chioma Okoli sits and bravely shares her harrowing experience for the first time.
Do you normally do reviews?
Oh, first.
That's your first time doing a review on Facebook. Were you afraid
Very,
when you were in the police station?
because of my kids. And I've also heard stories of people going and not coming back. So after the question and answer section, they now say they are waiting for a call from above. Because my husband was like, "Are we free to go now?" They said no. They are waiting for their calls from above. And after some 5 minutes, they said there's a problem, that the order from above says they should collect my phone. So I had to give them my phone, and they said that I'm not going. And they walked out. So my husband now went after them to talk with them, to know if it's something that we can go, come back maybe tomorrow. They just walked to the woman on duty, said, threw her into cell. So, because I was the only, there was no female person, it was only me inside the cell.
It was only you inside the cell.
Yeah, so it was just me. So I was inside there. So my brother now sent a lawyer to come So when the lawyer now came, they brought me out again. So the lawyer said he has already talked to them, and they said that the order is from the IGP, that there is nothing they can do about it. So the lawyer said I should just calm down tomorrow, so that they will know what to do by tomorrow. So we started, couldn't sleep. The roof was even leaking because it rained heavily that day. I was basically standing on my legs were inside the water. I prayed. I talked to myself. You know, there's I was seeing people, I don't know. Mosquitoes. It was scary. So I just prayed for morning to come.
Freedom of speech is enshrined in Section 39 of the Nigerian Constitution, which says in part that every person shall be entitled to freedom of expression, including freedom to hold opinions and to receive and impact ideas and information without interference. In a court session held in Abuja on Friday, the 10th of July 2020, the ECOWAS Court of Justice declared Section 24 of the Cybercrimes Act as vague, arbitrary, and unlawful. The judgment read in part that the defendant state, by adopting provisions of Section 24 of the Cybercrimes Act of 2015, violates Articles 9.2 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights and 19.3 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. In July of 2023, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, the National Security Advisor, stated that the federal government is actively working towards amending the act.
This force is sabotaging my company to close down, and the 3,000 people will go. This company was established before Shoma was born. Whoever is that Shoma, 40 years ago, I was suffering for this company to establish it. Now, because of the rants, we will allow her to close our company down. I rather close the Risco Food down and fight for my reputation, fight for my brand, fight for my good name before I die. And stop on with my right. I don't get with my right. I don't no apology for it. I'm purpose with my right. I will do the right. I don't look for trouble. If you come for trouble, I'm ready for you. This she do is trouble. You are sabotaging my company. And the 7 years imprisonment, 7 million naira, or how many years imprisonment? That's 3 years. So why must you go? Because you're a pregnant woman. In prison yard, there is a space where you can keep child. There's nothing more that there is where the lost mother there. So if you think you can come and bully me to drop my case, I'm not dropping it. I rather die than to allow somebody to tarnish my image. I work 40 years to grow.
Chief Eric Umofia believes his actions are within his. He conveyed his grievances regarding her original post and the comments it generated. In the formal complaints submitted to the police, comments made under the post which were not written by Chioma Okoli are emphasized as evidence. Facebook commenters, including one named Don Cash King, are listed in Chioma Okoli's charge sheet. Ms. Okoli's situation also underscores a potential instance of malicious prosecution by the Nigerian police. They allegedly transported her from Lagos to Abuja and have subsequently filed criminal charges against her in Abuja, a state where she does not reside and where the alleged offense did not occur.
They came back around 10. They asked me to come out again. They said they were going to Abuja. That they've already booked the flight.
How many police officers were there?
2. Then my husband. Then my husband paid for himself.
And your husband paid for himself?
Yes.
Is your husband on your flight with you?
Yes.
What was on your mind when they were flying you out?
In my mind, I was like, I don't know what's going to, because it was actually my first time in Abuja. So I was like, I don't know anybody here. I don't even know who we will call. I just said, God, I'm in your hands. While we were on air, I was telling my husband my breast is like suffocating me. He said, you'll be fine. said, I just need to take paracetamol. I said, when we get there, I'll get to paracetamol. It was like, am I smelly? It was like small. So when we now got to Abuja, somebody they called came to pick us.
And also, like, did you just have faith and, you know, like, how are you feeling now?
When we got to Abuja, I whispered to my husband's ears, dead. He said, you're not dead. Stop saying that. He said, maybe they will ask you to now and they will throw me inside prison. I said, how can they throw you inside prison? I should stop using any negative words on myself. That this phase will pass, that I'll be fine.
Again, she is a food reviewer. I don't know how a food reviewer is arrested and charged with the crime of what she's been, penalized for, but this is truly happening in Nigeria to a food reviewer. And, that's why I say, we need to respect our culture because we don't have those types of problems. We can speak if we don't like certain things, certain foods, certain services, or anything that happens in America, we could speak out. But when you go to another country and you see how other people run their business or they run and conduct their affairs, you realize that what you have, you should treasure. And why aren't Africans speaking about this issue and helping to lend a help to her? I don't know. It's like this story has been around for about 6 months or so, but it's been brought out recently through other news outlets to where I heard about it. But there's just so many different issues going on in Africa. It's pathetic. And one of them, again, is not being able to speak. Another case in point is in Ghana. There recently was an issue with a police, what do you call them? A police chief has been indicted and detained for supposedly insulting the Ghana president. Again, we insult our presidents all the time. We talk about Biden, we talked about Bush, we talked about all of them, Obama, any of them, and we didn't find ourselves in jail. But the difference of culture in Africa is way different. Look at this story. How you doing, Miss D and Lynn? How are you guys doing, Martin? Let me see what you guys are saying before I go on. And Quinn Dynasty, you starting to question your existence? Well, you have to pray to God. Hi, Wakaka? How you say that? Yaka? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Lynn says freedom of speech is very important, and also the right to bear arms is very important. We have both in the United States. I wouldn't live in a country without them. Exactly. And Nigeria is bullying us to claim Nigeria. It's crazy. I don't know what is wrong with Nigerians, but they really have an issue with trying to force us to accept them as being one of them. Like, no, we're not doing that. They will run up on those people who voice concerns. They do. And many Africans will say they don't care about Africa or their homeland. They don't care. They're trying to be Black Americans. Yeah, they are. They're trying to replace us. And that's why we're having an issue with our identity right now, because of the likes of them coming over here claiming to be a Black American or so-called African American. It's really ridiculous. Now, let's listen to this story. This comes from African Diaspora. All videos, by the way, is under fair use for educational purposes under 107 of the 1969 Copyright Act. For education and observation and research purposes. Let's get to this video.
Unleash the power of knowledge and connect with the heartbeat of the African diaspora. Download our African diaspora.
Oh, I hate when they do these commercials. Hold on, let me fast forward that.
boys. Experience the vibrancy of the diaspora at your fingertips. Don't miss out. Empower your perspective today. Search African Diaspora News Channel and join the conversation.
So many Ghanaians are not very happy with the current president, Nana Addo Akufo, and one of which is one of the chief inspectors of police in Ghana. His name is Benjamin Do Kono. And he has a few things to say to the president. Take a look at this.
Mr. President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I salute you, Mr. Excellency, or His Excellency. Please, I am a Chief Inspector of Police, Benjamin Do Kono Asifusu. I want to meet you one-on-one to tell you in your face that you are really incompetent. And you are not managing the state resources in the interest of the nation. You have destroyed all the pillars of the states, our generals, our commissioners, our judges, our military officers. Please, let our voices be heard. We are public servants. We are serving the nation. You have taken everything from the state and handed them over to your cronies, your friends, your family, your affiliates. You are destroying your people. You are destroying the nation. You are destroying every state institution. When you get this video, share it, because I want to get involved in building our motherland. I want to meet the president as part of the executive to teach him how to govern, how to rule in the interest of the nation. Asana yabewo akolanya sanino na openyin kosiampeni shimini abuofunu biti odada.
Oh boy. So just to give you a translation at the end part that was in Twi that this police chief said is, he basically said, before a new intelligent person is elected, the old idiot, which would be the current president, would have made such a mess and make it difficult for the new intelligent person to come in and clean it up. So that's what he said towards the end. And this chief of police knows that he cannot be on camera saying this kind of stuff about the president. He had no problems saying his name, full name, and what he does, and what he wants to do, which is sit down with the president and call him a disappointment and all of those things, you know, basically saying he's a disgrace. And that's a huge insult by Ghanaian standards. So he was interdicted and he was detained for doing this. And there was an investigation. Not quite sure what happened to him afterward. I believe he's still back to work. I haven't seen any reports following that. However, this is kind of the sentiment of a lot of the Ghanaian people. They feel like this president is involved in a lot of corruption, mismanagement.
As he is. And that's why I speak out against Ghana, because they do not care about burning us. They don't care about bankrupting us. They don't care about collapsing our businesses. As Americans, they will use us as leverage and fuck us over. I've been warning y'all about this beady-eyed Prey Mantis for a long time. He is not to be trusted. He is not our friend. He is just using us in the time being for our dollars, and he is not to be trusted. And the Ghanaians feel the same way. And if they could feel that way, I most certainly can feel that way. And I don't trust this corrupt president at all. That's why I say don't even take your asses to Ghana. Don't take your asses over there. Don't spend your money where you're not respected. But people still want to get burnt. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people will get burnt. Mark my words.
Economically, and inflation. So there were a lot of complaints about the current president. Also, his stance with the LGBTQ+, he seems to be meandering. He's not really answering. He's waiting. He's not saying one way or the other what he's going to do. He's not signed anything. So there's a lot of things that people are now kind of wavering away from this president. And there's, a widespread disappointment where he's concerned. So back to this police chief who obviously did not care. He wanted to make it clear what he thinks. He seems to think that he can do better. And from what I understand, he was at a bar and it was a beer rant. So that's one of the other reasons why he, was reprimanded for it. But again, he's speaking for a lot of the Ghanaians right now. And there are a lot of comments that have come through after this video was released. And the vast majority of it is in support of him. And they're saying he's speaking truth and he's, talking about what everybody else is talking about. He was just courageous enough, and maybe it was liquid courage, to go on camera and let this president have it. I have said it and I will say it again, Sam George for president. He doesn't allow anybody to make him backpedal or cow down to anything. He stands firm on his values and his morals.
Yeah, the same guy that says if United States sanctions Ghana for not, doing something against the LGBTQ, that he's going after American businesses. This is the same one that she is shouting out, but not understanding that indirectly, the Black Americans who have set up shop as business owners, this guy is going after those businesses if United States sanctions due to the LGBTQ, which is going to affect Americans. So she's on the side of him, but again, we're going to be pulled in, used as, the leverage of this, the pawn game that they're playing with this, basically fucking us over. So I don't know why she is backing this guy. Again, she's living in America. I don't never get why Americans speak up on African affairs like that, but she did.
Up his points due north. He is courageous. He is fearless. Sam George would be a great representative for the country of Ghana.
Yeah, and the businesses that are American will be in jeopardy. So there it is there. I really want to emphasize again the role or the rights that we have here in America is what many other people are fleeing from their countries to have the rights that our ancestors actually fought for. And it's because of that, there are a lot of people that have animosity against Black Americans. And you hear it on social media. I've seen so many different shows dedicated to the hate of Black Americans and what we're not doing. Why can't we do this? Why come our money's not doing that? Just all these expectations that everybody seems to clamor to talk about. And so this sentiment that people are voicing, it is anti-Black American. And unfortunately, there are many Pan-Africans, so-called Black Americans, because they call themselves Africans, but they also share in the hate and disdain for Black Americans, as if we did something to these people that's coming over here to America. We're voicing our opinions. We have a right to voice opinions about what we're seeing is happening to the country. People expect us to be on mute and not say anything, not complain about anything, just let everything happen to us. Just let everybody just bogart and run all over us. And once we speak up, it's like, be quiet, slave. You don't have a right to speak anymore because we're here now. And we're going to tell you how to feel, what to do, and how to be. And if you don't act like that, then there's hate that comes your way. The only people that's received by many Africans are the ones that bow down to Africa and Africans and kiss their ass. They'll give you a pat and say, oh, there, Black American, we'll receive you because you kissing our and licking our balls. But outside of that, there seems to be a constant disdain. Not all, but the rhetoric that's on YouTube and everybody running to talk against us showcases this fact. Let's get to this video of African diaspora. He actually talked about this conversation. And like I said, it's been going on since I've been on YouTube. I've noticed, and it's not getting any better. Hold on, let me bring this back.
Here to the United States by the State Department. I always want to make sure to lead with that. To come to the United States, and how a lot of them have anti-Black sentiment. And she just really going to break that down. Let's go ahead and roll it.
She said the African immigrant to white supremacist pipeline is real. And when she said it, I said, oh my God, how dare you? I thought, how dare you suggest that African immigrants hold white supremacist ideologies? But then I just paused. I watched the rest of her video and I thought for a minute. I thought about some of the narratives that I, as an African immigrant, hear in our community. I thought about some of the anti-Black rhetoric that is so common in our community. And I had to admit that she was correct. And if you look in the comments of that video, the proof is there also. Many African immigrants think that they are better than Black Americans. And we come from our home countries already with this false narrative, with this negative stereotype that Black Americans as a group are lazy, they are on government handouts, they're not taking advantage of the opportunities that America has. We come with these narratives and we come here and we don't bother to challenge them, because if you just sit for a minute and think about some of these comparisons that are being made, you'll see that they are stupid, right? They don't make sense. They are not equal comparisons. We don't bother to learn the history of systemic racism in this country.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to compare us to Nigerians who are like 200 million and they're global. They're everywhere. Where is there not a Nigerian at? And compare us to against them. Like, why are y'all comparing Nigerians against Black Americans? Why are you comparing people that's over there in Africa to us? Why don't you compare other Africans against other bordering Africans? That makes more sense to do. Talk about those countries, those economies. But no, they are sticklers because it's no consequence to talking against Black Americans. That's why even if they don't have free speech in Africa to talk against the government, to talk against policies or conditions, they most certainly are not refrained from talking shit against Black Americans over there in Africa, online or in America. They're all over the place talking about Black Americans. No consequence happens talking against us. That's why they always do it. That's why it seems to be like a game of sorts, a sport, because there's so many things that I could show y'all, which I will, which y'all could be talking about and getting upset about. But they're upset about what we do, how we are, what we say we are, what we talk about, what we focus on every day.
Dig in our heels instead and try to prove that, you know, we're the good Black people. Oh, look at us. We're so educated. We have all these good jobs. And it's frankly embarrassing. If you go to the comments of that video, you will see immigrants from all, let's call it races, right? People of color, basically affirming what this creator is saying, affirming this anti-Black message. And African immigrants are also in there doing the same thing. And it's very ironic because all of us know that in this so-called people of color thing, every other community has very strong anti-Black rhetoric. They have very anti-Black sentiment. And you, a Black African immigrant, you are in there kicking with these people who probably look down on you with the same racism and anti-Blackness that they hold towards Black Americans. Are you not embarrassed? Are you not embarrassed?
Well, as a Black American, I can tell you that in their own homeland, they wasn't doing nothing at all. And most of the people I've talked to when I've been in the African continent about, you know, the immigrants that come over here, a lot of them say they was no good there. A lot of them say they were raccooning over there too and not doing nothing right where they come from. Now, when you come in here with this, oh, I'm the good Black. I got a job. I got a house. I got an education. I'm not targeted by the police, you know, like Black Americans are. Well, keep thinking you the good Blacks. Just keep thinking that. And you're going to see where that's going to get you. See, we know where that's going to get you because we know that's a go nowhere thing to do. Them people don't like us like that. The only reason they don't go in on you like that, I'll just be honest with you. 2 reasons. 1, they don't really have a documented history with you. 2, you are backed up by nation states. That's the difference. See, if the police wholesale was to start attacking.
But they're not backed up by nation states. Apparently, they are, in my opinion, left high and dry once they leave Africa. Their country's not looking after the Africans or any other immigrants. Maybe other groups of people have more of a government that watches over what happens if something does happen, like China and America and whatnot. They have closer ties. But I see Africans, once they leave Africa, they don't look back, and Africa doesn't look towards you unless you're doing, or unless you're sending money to Africa, to your family. That's the only thing that they care about. But they're not going to bat for Africans that go abroad. They don't care. And so this notion of they have a home state or they have a nation state or whatever, so what? I can't tell. I don't see the benefit of them having a home state. What do they do to better the conditions of Africans when they went to Ukraine and they had that issue happen about the trains being disallowed for them to board when the war broke off? I mean, there was no, they barely got picked up when the war started. I think a lot of them just got abandoned. So I don't understand why people gloat that they have a nation state, but your nation is not nationing. They don't do anything particular for you. So why brag? But that's the kind of thing that we have to hear. Oh, we have a nation state. We have a nation. You ain't got no nation. We could do this. You could, but you don't. Your nation doesn't do a goddamn thing for you.
Let's say Nigerians. If they just start attacking Nigerians, the Nigerian embassy, the Nigerian government could say, hey, why are you attacking our citizens like that?
They could say, but they don't say, Phil. So don't say they could, because they don't. And he always wants to try to put Africans on a pedestal and make it seem like it would be so much better if we were connected to a nation in Africa. How? Where do you see the evidence at, Phil? Or anyone listening? Where's there evidence that the African leaders or the government has done something for Africans, these migrants that's gone all over the place? Whenever something happens in a particular country, what do the government do? Nothing. They don't say a goddamn word. So just because you have a nation with no mouth, no teeth, no nothing, it might as well say you ain't got that support. You ain't got that support.
You understand what I'm saying? Or if it's Ghanaians, or if it's Kenyans, or whoever else, they have nation states behind them. We don't have a nation state behind us like they do. So that's one.
Again, they don't have it because they're not utilizing it. So Phil making it seem like they do and that they use that is disingenuous. He's being dishonest right here. They don't do a goddamn thing for their people that go abroad. You barely see them rescue them. When something happens, you barely hear of stories where they'll go take a plane and go retrieve some of those people that are like abandoned and left stranded. They're the last ones to come and help their people, if at all. If at all.
Speak of why they don't treat them like they would treat us. Now, to say they don't discriminate against them, because they do, but we get a different type of treatment. That's one. Second thing she talked about is that all these other groups have anti-black sentiment. Yes, they do. And I had to think about Dr. Frances Cress Welsing for a minute. And you know, she had broke down about the white supremacists having, thoughts about us, about, genetic annihilation. Well, if you think about these other groups outside of, black groups, whether they Asian, whether they Hispanic, whether they whatever, right? Native American. If we have children with them, then that child doesn't come out looking like them. The child comes out looking like us. So it's the same thought process that the white supremacists have about genetic annihilation. A lot of them have the same thought processes too. Think about that.
Many African immigrants think that they are better than Black Americans. And we come from our home countries already with this false narrative, with this negative stereotype that Black Americans as a group are lazy, they are on government handouts, they're not taking advantage of the opportunities that America has. We come with these narratives and we come here and we don't bother to challenge them, because if you just sit for a minute and think about some of these comparisons that are being made, you'll see that they are stupid, right? They don't make sense. They are not equal comparisons.
But they do it every single day, every waking moment of the day. Keep that in mind. I'm going to play now a YouTuber that was showing the Twitter spaces that's always constantly showcasing us arguing or talking with Africans or other immigrants that always have an issue with us. It's like all day, every day, you can catch these lives of people just spazzing out, questioning us, just all kinds. I don't understand why they don't talk about the issues that's going on in their own country. Why don't they have platforms talking about it? Because they're too busy trying to look cute in front of us. They're too busy trying to make themselves look better than us. They're too busy trying to convince us that they are better than us. That's why they do what they do, in my opinion. And for some strange reason, there are a lot of Black Americans that go for that message. They believe it to be true, and none of it is true. It is unfortunate that we have such low self-esteem. We allow them to pretty much dumb us down. Hold on, let me go. Hold on.
But we don't put these bitches on those fucking pedestal up here. You crazy? And that's the shit I be trying to get at. Like, ain't nobody running around up here in New York City going die hard for none of these other ethnicities. All of them are sitting there trying to copy us and be us and cosplay us. So why the fuck would we chase them?
Because they easy to fuck. Like let's be serious. Like before this degeneracy came in Black American society, like Black American women was not walking around fucking hoary and shit. We'd be like, nah, I'm not doing that. You know I don't do that. Like, we was real conservative women for the most part. Like, getting a bitch on the first date, it was like, nah, we don't really do that. We don't want to be seen as no whores and no shit like that. We got a lot of this shit.
So I think that this will be more of Black Americans speaking out about what they've been noticing with the anti-hate of Black Americans. So let me see what you guys are saying, then I'll let that continue. I haven't heard it before. I just seen the title, and the title read Black Americans versus Anti-Black Tethers Twitter space. So I don't know if later on they're going to bring other foreigners onto the platform to speak against us, but that's what it's entitled. What's up, everybody that's in the chat room? If you have not yet, please like the video. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to like something that's absolutely free. You're sitting up here listening to me anyways. You might as well like it or subscribe as well. I mean, why would you be here if you don't enjoy something? That's kind of weird. You said, let me go back up. Stay out of Africa. That continent is full of lawlessness everywhere you look. Facts, Lynn. That's what I'm talking about. Let me see. We don't have to do nothing for Africans or anyone else. Go home and leave us alone. That's what they need to do. Instead of pressuring us to do something for them that they can do for themselves. That's the part that I don't get. You have the same hands and feet, and you have monies, and you have left Africa, what is the excuse of y'all getting among yourselves together to support Africa and Africa's situations, other than the fact that you're scared, other than the fact you're scared of repercussions? I mean, but that's not our problem. We didn't cause the conditions on the ground in Africa where you're not able to speak or rally to do something. That's what your culture did. That's what a lot of the, laws that have been set, that you can't do this and you can't do that. That's not the problem of Black Americans. We did not cause anything to happen over there that's making it difficult for Africans to stay there. It's the government and it's the culture. Y'all need to go and address those things to me. They have anti-Black hate. Why? They call themselves Black and also African. When I was in college, I remember meeting Africans for the first time that I recall, and they never called themselves Black. They always said what tribe they were from, where they were from. They were very proud individuals, I thought. And so I found it very puzzling in the last 5, 6 years. I've noticed many of them are now saying they're Black, and they're arguing with us about saying that they're the best Black and that they're the main Black. Like, being Black means you're from Africa. That's not what Black meant here, though, in America. It was a category that was put onto us by the government. It did not mean African. So now Africans are trying to take the word Black and say it means African. No, it does not. Not in the standpoint of American. It doesn't mean that. So that is very puzzling. You said, what's up, Pinky Wells? Thank you for coming through. It's obvious to me that they hold white supremacy ideologies. That's why I want nothing to do with these people. Most of them do, by how they carry themselves. I wouldn't say all, but there are a lot of them that hold those principles, especially if they're Pan-Africans. Let's just be frank. If they're Pan-Africans, they're on the level of trying to be a Black supremacist against us. That's what they're on the level of. 50 million versus 200 million, we still have them beat. They are so obsessed with us, knowing that they have the numbers, knowing that, there's no comparison, but yet they're still competing and comparing themselves to us. And it's bizarre. They say we mostly come from West Africa, a bunch of BS. I don't come from no damn West Africa. I come from America. That one ancestor that was abandoned, left for dead, I claim that ancestor, not y'all. Leave my ancestor alone. If they came from Africa, I got that ancestor. Pinky Wells says, if we were lazy, we would be fleeing because America would be looking like the African continent. Again, we set the stage for what the rights that have been provided here by sweat, blood, and tears. We didn't get it for free. People didn't just say, let's just treat these people nice. Let's just give them rights. No, we had to go through a whole lot before we saw those rights come. That's why people walking away from America and going elsewhere and taking on the ridiculousness of other cultures, the ridiculousness of being looked upon really bad as a woman when you're independent and you're speaking freely and people are looking at you side-eye and they wanting to kill you or are killing you. I don't get that. I don't understand. But a lot of people are psyching themselves out to believe that being over there is better until shit hits the fan. Then all that changes. All that changes. You said, and why they don't have opportunity in their countries. And why aren't they mad, Pinky, that they don't have opportunities in their country? Why aren't they ever upset about it? That's the part I'm not getting. They want to revere their countries in America, telling us how they're proud to be this and that, but you can only be prideful when you left Africa. I don't see pride on the continent as you're there. I don't see it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Nigeria is a failed state with no toilets, electricity, infrastructure. Half population is uneducated, lots of orphans, starvations, etc. Too many problems to list. And it's sad. You write about that. Let me see. You write about that. All immigrants have disdain for Black Americans, not just the Africans and Caribbeans. Yes, they all have disdain for us, every last one. Nigeria has no jobs, no welfare, scamming run rampant, drugs, no rights or women rights, etc. Lynn says. Exactly. That's the truth. That's the reality. BRN Short says, living on the subject of race and nitpicking, it is just a waste of time. Well, you can go to another platform if you like, because I'm talking about this now. I'm not going to change my topic because you showed up. Right? Their countries leave them stranded. Exactly. I've seen so many cases where they have been left stranded. So mentioning they have a nation state, so what? It don't do nothing. I'm only connected to my nation, America. Exactly, Pinky. What's up, Seven Golly? Scientists have said race is not real, ethnicity is real. Exactly. There is no black or white race. There is only the human race. Race is a social construct in the United States of America. Exactly, Lynn. And what's up for Rivers God? How you doing, Pinky Wells? Didn't do anything for them when they were getting beat in Ukraine. And like I said, to me, that wasn't racist. That was self-preservation. They should have known that if something ever happens in another country, you're not going to be looked out for first. You're not. That don't make sense to even think that you should. Miss D says, all around the world, Africans is being kicked out, especially Nigerians. American is basically their last stop, but they disrespect us. Yes, they do. What's up, Tyron? Yes, under Title 17 USC Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research, etc. Thank you for that. Black groups, stop calling them that. Yes, stop calling them that. Call them what they are. And Phil is a big fat liar. Yes, he is for Rivers. He's trying to make Black Americans believe that there will be a better life in Africa. Yeah, so he always put in half truths. Yeah, they have a nation state that does absolutely nothing. So telling us that we need to get a nation state is baloney. It's malarkey. It's a lie. It's not going to do anything for us. They were left in Ukraine and the country didn't rescue them at all. They were over begging for American icons to speak for them. Yeah, they're always referring to us. Where is African icons? What about Akon? Akon is always talking about us. He never mentions anything about what conditions Africans are going through because he's too busy trying to tell us and paint the picture that Africa is our paradise. But Africans don't require Akon or require Godfrey or require any other African to speak up for them. They come to us with the bullshit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? When y'all do that, I'm like, what the hell? When the U.S. rescue their citizens, that includes Black Americans. Yes, that's right, Lynn M. That's messed up. If the guy Phil is saying that, I remember seeing him allegedly being exposed, having a big fat white wife, all fake pro-Black frauds. His wife is Mexican, Hispanic. He tried to say that she was Indian, but she's a whole Hispanic. How you doing? Didn't have to be here running wild. Thank you for coming through. And if an African gets into a police brutality situation, they don't ask their country for assistance. They call Al Sharpton. Yeah, they go call the people that's on the ground in America, preferably Black Americans. They do not ask for other Africans to assist them, which is puzzling. You said, I saw that on Channel Raw YouTube page. Yeah, I'm about to get back to that in just a second. Exactly for Black, even hitting the dislike helps. It adds to the views. Hit something or hit the road, Jack. I heard that. That's what these Africans voted for in their countries, Lynn says. I guess. I don't know. I don't really pay attention to their political situation because I'm not there. But, if it comes up, I'll look at it, I joke, Seven Galley says. What's up, peace within eye of the storm? Lord have mercy, hell up in Africa. Black is on our birth certificate. They see reparations coming, trying to claim our money. That's exactly what they're doing. All because of tomatoes. Damn, I felt that woman's pain from my head to my toes. Yeah, I mean, that's her job, to be a critic to food. So that was crazy to me. Black doesn't mean African. Black in America is a category, or ethnonym is an ethnic name ascribed to a people or group, the proper name by which a people or ethnic group is called or known. That's what it is in America. But Africans have been trying to remix Black to mean you're African. No, sorry. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Give a thumbs up if you appreciate 4Black's efforts to bring awareness to the atrocities in Africa and lives of Pan-Africans. Exactly. Thank you. Show the Africans your face so they know you mean it. If they don't know by my words, then so what? I don't care. We are Americans. Exactly. Africa is one country. Tell them. No, I didn't say it was a one country. You're ad-libbing in my mouth, which I didn't say. Africans don't get attacked like Black Americans get attacked because they are indigenous here, and colonizers always fight the people of the land they stole. Exactly. Nobody cares about Akon. Foolish people on YouTube think he's still relevant. It won't work, Akon. Yeah, his city is still being talked about as the biggest scam ever. If I have time, I'll bring that up too. He told people who he is, Akon, an Akon artist. Yes, he is. So now let's get back to this Twitter space to hear, I believe a lot of Americans now are on code with understanding that we're being disdained and hated on. And more of us are now speaking up to that fact. And this was a Twitter space. Let's see if they have other immigrants come on or not.
A lot of this shit from these goddamn tether women. Like, nah, don't pay attention to these tether goddamn women and what they goddamn do. Like, no. So, no, for the most part, especially back in the day, Black American women were very conservative.
Listen, even
like, I put my mother to the reality race about.
No, I was gonna say even the whores though. I grew up at West Point.
My mother used to drink. Don't never be no hoe. Don't never be no hoe. Like, that shit was drilled into a motherfucker.
No, but
don't never be no hoe. Don't let these niggas talk about you. That shit was drilled into.
No, but check it out. This is what I'm saying, Mama Flips. Because I grew up under actual pimps who was actually getting money out of women selling ass. And what I'm telling you is, even though the working women, the women of the night, they did not carry themselves the way you see now. The women that was hoeing, especially under an official pimp, you would marry. If the nigga didn't know he was hoeing, he would marry.
And that's the problem that we have in our culture. I really don't understand, and I really loathe pimps. And we have always had them as esteeming them. For what? What has pimps brought to our culture but destruction? Did this guy just say he used to be a pimp? Did I hear that correctly? I don't know. But again, you know, some of these spaces are rereads. This is my first time hearing this, but let's get back to this.
That's how fine these women was. That's how well kept they were. And that's how much dignity they carried themselves, even though they was doing what they was doing. You get what I'm saying? That's why I even got the moniker Willie Dynamite. Look at these movies. Like he said, I got y'all in the biggest hotel in New York City. You got fucking politicians. This is your clientele. Politicians, businessmen, big bucks, big classy shit. Oh, now you don't fuck with me, you could go take your ass to 5. Like you said, you'll be back on 5th Avenue hustling for fucking nickels. And that's where, if any hoe had any type of sense, that's where she don't want to go. Back then. You get what I'm saying? You don't want to be running up and down no fucking dope alley trying to hustle your ass for a
He sounds fucking stupid. This is the kind of Black American man I feel like needs to be dealt with. Let me fast forward this. This is giving me a headache. I don't believe how stupid he sounded right there.
We only know J-Lo. We used to see J-Lo on TV back in the day. But when we came here and we picked them, the nice round asses, the beautiful skin, man, we just started fucking these Hispanic women like crazy, man. Off the boat, fresh off the boat.
We have a lot of degenerate people speaking on our behalf. This video is that. I have not heard this video before, but I'm hearing some really wretched stuff coming out of their mouth. But this shows you how we are lacking in proper leadership of Black males, Black men speaking up on our behalf. We have the dumbest, the most retarded bozos speaking for us. And it makes us all look like this. That's why I'll be trying to like hope that other Black men that do speak with sense would start a channel or start intervening on our behalf and speaking up for us, because we can't have these retardos speaking for us.
Seconds.
They still ain't mad at y'all. Kids.
So
That's what
I-
them kids did though. They ain't gonna get our kids by y'all. They said we don't want these ugly bastards with them.
Yes. So what I'm saying is, Black Americans are the moral compass of the world. Without Black Americans, there would be no morality. So I thank you guys for that. I appreciate that, and I'm learning. Thank you.
Trump, stupid symbol. Yo, but Mama Clips, what you said was so true about the debauchery of the Caribbean, because I'm here in Toronto, right? And we have Caravana, and it is so bad. Carnival here in Toronto is so thoughtish, man. Like, because thing is that our Somali moms, they hate when Somali girls go to the carnival because it's so debauchery. Oh my God, the thoughtism is crazy, man. Now I understand how thoughtism and twerking came into Black American culture, because it came from these Caribbeans and these Afro-Latinos that came into New York City and these other places like Miami.
Yo, Somali. Look at the Freaknik, documentary.
Right.
All them girls used to have their little shorts on, but it wasn't too provocative, right? Just the girl wearing her shorts looking cute with her hair done. Once Luke got involved, that's when that other shit came in. It's like we can't follow them. Like, even when they first started coming to New York and New Jersey, when they used to have their little poom shorts on, we used to look at them a little bit odd and shit. Like, yo, that's a little bit
Wow.
odd.
That's extra.
Because there was
a
the
like that.
Caribbean girls that brought that in.
How can we fix that now? How can we?
Simple, shut up, bro.
I'm accepting that we brought degeneracy in this country. So how can we solve it? Can we come up with a solution?
Quiet, bro.
No, shut up, you Somali.
We got the solution. We got the solution.
What's the solution? Let's work on it.
Okay, the solution is mass deportation, and you keep your ass in your homeland and go back.
But how do you deport? How do you deport U.S. citizens? How do you deport U.S. citizens?
You can denaturalize.
Okay. Now check this out. Now here's the deal. Now little do your little pea brain ass going, because all you do is stay on this app and follow us and troll us around, but you don't even know what's going on. So now here's the deal. Believe it or not, this new regime that's about to come into this government body in the next 15 to 20 years, and this is what's about to go down. All you motherfuckers, that includes all you Africans in particularly, because you know how the white man does, but it's really going to go across the board. What's going to happen is that all you motherfuckers that came over here on a work visa, student visa, snuck in the country, or even call yourself having an anchor baby. If you came over here under any illegal pretenses, you're sitting around the country just living under the underworld and under the underground and living off the land, your ass is getting deported. If you sat there and watched Tusi's your ass across the goddamn border and your baby mother was pregnant and dropped the baby over here, and all of a sudden the baby gets citizenship but your ass is illegal, guess what? You and your baby citizenship will be revoked and your ass will be sent home. And if you don't...
That's wishful thinking. Again, I don't know what Trump extremes he would take if he was president. I mean, I don't know if you have an anchor baby, they're going to revoke that. But that's wishful thinking. And again, some of these men just speak out of the side of their ass. Some of this is very cringeworthy to even listen to. This is my first time hearing this, and I cannot believe that they're calling this a conversation to even be had. It is rather embarrassing, to be honest with y'all. Rather embarrassing.
Believe me, or if you need proof, ask Elian Gonzalez. Because it's happened before.
It's happened to that guy from
Let me finish. Because it's happened before. What it was is that the general American public just now has made a push to actually implement that into actual policy, but we will be doing so. And don't think it's just us saying that shit. You got white folks that don't want y'all here. You got even Hispanic folks. You got other Africans and Caribbeans that came through the system the right way. They don't want y'all asses.
But let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. But let me ask you this question, right? I thought you guys are saying that this government, right, is bringing in immigrants so that they can replace you. So why would they go ahead and deport those same people that they're trying to replace?
This administration is doing that. The administration is doing that. But what happened?
But do you know that? Do you know that Trump? Do you know that Trump is the least deportation?
Yeah, because
wait a minute, man. Hold on. But in that same context, y'all wasn't coming here at the same numbers that y'all are coming here now, or during the Obama administration. So if there's less people coming in here, of course you're gonna have less deportations. Because less y'all motherfuckers trying to sneak in, because you're gonna get sent back.
And also,
let me see what you're saying. You said, can I do a video on or about OMB? What does that stand for? I know that Yvette Carnell talked about it. I'll do a video on it. It is very frustrating to hear how stupid we are being, but I'll do a video on it. You said our so-called civil rights leaders said it will be confusing to separate African Caribbean from us. It's ridiculous. It's like if they come from somewhere else, that's what they are. You can say American after, Jamaican American, Nigerian American. It's so hard because them that come over here refuse to state who they are, and they want to fit in with our status is what they're doing on purpose. On purpose. Seven Golly says, sad to say, but many Jamaicans have the same ignorance as Africans and think they're above Black Americans. That's why those bumpsters in Africa impersonate Jamaicans. Oh, are they impersonating Jamaicans? Is that what they're doing? Because I be seeing some of them act like that. I thought they were Jamaicans. That's funny, though. You said, Prashant Gowak, moral compass of the world. I doubt right now we're the moral compass of the world. We used to be. We've never done any people dirty like all other groups of people have done other groups of people. We're the only ones that fought for rights and stuff. So I understand that we used to be. But right now, I don't think so. Right now, it's all every man for himself. Looks like Clubhouse, anonymous people can say anything without consequence on there. Things they would not have the audacity to say in anyone's face. Exactly. Bunch of incels and incelettes. Yeah, they sound dumb. You have a temporary hobby, I see. Why do they speak like they're in a tribe? Who you mean? Who you mean? I don't know what you mean. Why don't the Africans and Caribbeans want to identify as who they are? They used to. I don't know what's going on now, but apparently they forgot where they came from. They're acting like they're confused on the term of African American. That was the worst name given to us by the government, and has enabled these people to play dumb, like they don't understand who they are anymore. Why are they trying to identify as Black Americans? Again, they're trying to hide behind our name and try to fill our shoes is what they're doing. It's not normal to hate someone and turn around and identify as them, but that's exactly what's happening. They're playing dumb. And if these immigrants truly felt we were bad people, why are they attaching themselves to our identity? Our lineage, history, culture, and accomplishments. Claim who you are. It's simple. I wish they would do that. But they don't have a lot of good things to say about their people, I guess. So that's the only explanation I can give. Because why are they using Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass and Rosa Parks as speaking about their situation. They don't have their own heroes. I don't get it. You said I'm Bajan American, but called Black American on legal documents, same as my parents from Barbados, but required to check the African. I don't know. I don't know if that's true though, Seven Golly, because the other is there. Other, which I'm going to now sign, other, and put Indigenous Black American. I'm not ever going to put the box of African American or Black American again, because that box has been bastardized. And it's attempt to take away our identity as a people here in America. So I'm going to now use other and put Indigenous Black American. I'm not going to hit the box of Black and African American ever again, because I see what's going on. American equals the natives, not the whites. White American, Black American, brown American, for generational inheritance, human world citizens. I love the mantra by Tima Turner, rest in peace to the Queen of Rock and Roll. She was also a colored Cherokee Native American. Yeah, I remember Tina Turner vowed that she was, but they had her on TV, did her DNA, which I don't think the Indian is up a lot on the DNA. I don't think many of them took their DNA, so that it's not registered in the database as much. But it didn't show up on her DNA. I think a lot of white supposedly showed up, but she swore, and she doesn't look African. Tina Turner does not look African. Her nose and her bone structures totally different. To steal the promise God promised us, David Jackson says. Yeah, they want to steal what is deserving to us. That's why they're running to claim themselves as being us. And it's kind of bad, you know, and it's sad that people don't see what's going on. Black Americans are native to America because we are amalgamation, and our ethnogenesis occurred in the United States of America. Facts. We are the Tomarkans. I don't know what that is. The oldest and most Asian bloodline, David says. Okay, I've never heard of them before. You have to drop a comment on my video about that so I can look them up, because I don't know anything about them. If you guys could, please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Since that talk on the Twitter space is so dumb, I'm not going to put y'all through that. I'm going to move on to something else. And that something else is, why won't, for instance, the Gambians talk about what the Chinese are doing to their rivers? And here is an example, I think, that you meant, Seven Golly. I don't know if this guy is an actual Jamaican or not, but he's speaking about the abuse that's happening to the rivers there in the Gambia. And I don't know why people are not speaking out against what China is doing to the water, to the oceans.
So right now, I think Gambian people have to wake up and open their eyes and know things what good for them. Because this is something what we have. We could have survived on this without even thinking of another companies on land. Chinese people, in 5 years' time, one bonga fish will cost $100.
Hello, beautiful viewers. Welcome back to your Right and Gambia this week. Today we are at Bakau Riverside to see the difficulties these vendors are facing and how business is going during Ramadan.
This is the living. This is where we are today. It is something which you know that we should do it because it's part of life. Without this, everything gonna be hard on us here. This is why we specialize on this kind of job to look up for ourselves.
So for how long have you been doing this job?
Doing this since 1990. I'm here.
That's a long time.
It's nearly 30-something years. I'm still doing the same thing. But I will never surrender because I know that it's part of living. If I went to somewhere else, I will look up for the same thing. So when I'm at home, I should create it as usual.
So how has it been going?
Yes, we just manage them with the stress. The problem of Gambia here, when it's the fishing side, is the problem of these Japanese, Korean people in the country. Now we cannot go to fish by.
Do you think that he's Gambian or he's Jamaican? Because he's really trying hard to be Jamaican if he isn't. Crazy.
Whole self it with our boats. We buy petrol, go to the sea, you never get nothing. How did you go? That's how you came back. Without even one basket of fish. And when you went to the sea, you see the dead fish on top of the water. Chinese people, in 5 years' time, one bonga fish will cost $100.
So it's like they are misusing our river.
It must be misused because there is no control. This is why it's misusing. They are not only the ocean, they are inside to the river. They are catching fish at the river and they are doing some little small thing which you know that they are killing some small fish there and the big one because the oil they already burn into the trawlers. Those are the oil they pour it into the ocean. So that will affect the ocean, it will affect the river. If there will be a small fish, has to be a big one, it will die before grow up. And they kill a fish which you know that they never born. Just you grow up, you die. And fish has to born 2-3 times. Then you could have a more fish. But when the fish grow, it never born, you never have a benefit of fish. In 5 years, Gambia, I think we could have sold the country.
So the intervention of the Chinese in the river, how has it disturbed your business, you petty trader?
It disturbed everything. Even the people selling fish here, they don't have fish. The people we are selling it to them to go and sell it at the countryside, local villages, they don't have fish because we don't have it. What we bought it from the Chinese people, they cannot afford to buy it from us because it's getting expensive every day. So right now, I think...
Again, this is a real problem that the Chinese are causing to happen on a lot of different waters, oceans, complaints about them taking over the oceans for the fish and leaving the locals or this pretending Jamaican to claim that, you know, this abuse is happening by the Chinese. But where are the Africans outraged about that? In particular, Afrodamas, you could be talking about this on your platform. This is affecting your so-called people of the Gambia. You could also have a long, extended conversation about FGM, about, you know, how that is really messed up that little girls have to be subjected behind all that. But these topics are all over the place. If you look for them, you can find them. And not to forget about the scamming. Supposedly, an African tether was caught trying to scam 50 Cent. I'm going to see if this is really a video or not, because some of these people be claiming one thing and the video end up being something else. Let's see what this video is about.
Bulletproof the hating from the plantation. We got the whole nation. Now, as we all know, 50 Cent is one of the biggest trolls on Instagram. So I was checking out his page yesterday, and he put up a post trolling Stevie J. Of course, the post was funny. You know how 50 do, right? So I check out the comment section and see what people were saying. Of course, everybody was laughing at the post. Then I come across this comment left by old begging ass, thirsty African tether. Check out what this tether said. 50 Cent, keep on acting like he's not African. Remember, there's no place like home. Look at what Akon is doing in Senegal. Definitely one day you will remember where you are from. Nigga! First of all, this begging ass scam artist, African Teller, his comment literally had nothing to do with 50 Cent's post about Stevie J. Y'all know the foundational family responded to his comment and lit his musty ass up. This old musty Teller face African hopped on 50 Cent's post trying to scam 50 Cent out of his money. Trying to get 50 Cent come to Africa and drop a bag on the so-called motherland. Nah, nigga. First of all, 50 Cent is foundational Black American. His home is the United States. And second, 50 Cent nor any foundational Black American owes Africa anything. These people sold us into slavery for umbrellas. They turn around 400 years later and got their hands out like we owed them something. After y'all sold us to get raped, lynched, murdered, abused, and used for our free labor to build up the economic wealth of the United States of America.
Africans all over the place trying to get especially celebrities to claim them so that they can have the opportunity to get a little bit of their money. But here's a cop. I don't know if it was Nigeria or another place, but he tried to scam one of the YouTubers, this white lady. And then I think that he ended up being fired alongside of his partner for this clip right here.
Everything is fine.
From where?
Netherlands.
What do you bring up? Where they go?
Abuja.
Abuja? Something else.
This water.
Bring me money. What do you bring? What do you bring up? What do you want to give me? Wait, now what you want to give me? Give me something. Give me something now. Give me something.
You give me something.
Give me money. Money. Money.
Money. What? What? Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Punishment of dismissal.
So for the first time, I think ever, they fired him. They showed him and his partner being, you know, not allowed to be a police officer. I don't know what term that is, but they were fired for this. And normally speaking, that this doesn't normally happen where they get caught and they are held to a consequence. Normally this happens every single day where people are set up, foreigners, to pay off bribes by all these different cops. And different stories have come out about it all the time.
How is everything?
Everything is fine.
From where?
Netherlands.
What do you bring up? Where they go?
Abuja.
Abuja? Bring me something else.
This water.
Bring me money. What do you bring? What do you bring up? What do you want to give me? Wait, now what do you want to give me? Give me something. Give me something now. Give me something.
You give me something.
Give me money. Money. Money.
Money. What?
Give me.
What? Okay. Okay. Bye-bye.
Punishment of dismissal.
I'm glad that happened, but unfortunately, there are far more African police officers that don't get caught and they're not fired for what they do. That's what they do to get extra money from foreigners. Luckily, she was rolling her video and it did something that time. Now, speaking of the police, with the kidnappings that keep happening in Nigeria, there's a group that exposes the Nigerian police impunity, claiming that it uses terrorists as spy. I don't know what this video is about, but it's kind of a recent video, so I want to play what they're talking on. But again, we don't have these same problems to the degree that Africans have their issues with no speech and not being able to speak up for what they feel is right, what's going on with the government or the president. It doesn't exist. That's why we need to respect our culture.
Civil rights organizations condemned the Nigerian police force disregard for the rule of law and human rights violation against Mustafa Buhari Aliyu and Ali Buhari Aliyu, unjustly detained by the Intelligence Response Team. The Intelligence Response Team action, allegedly influenced by a criminal bandit, led to the wrongful arrest and adoption of the brothers in Kaduna State. Despite appeals and evidence of innocence, the police continue to detain them unlawfully. Reverend Solomon Shemaka, the convener, disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja. The organization demands the release of the innocent victim, urge investigation by human rights bodies, and call for police accountability and adherence to the rule of law. Failure to release them may result to protests against police brutality.
2024, some officers of the Intelligence Response Team of the Nigerian Police Force, according to eyewitnesses, in a Gestapo manner, invaded a local community in Kaduna State called Kargarko in an operation that ended up with the illegal arrest and adoption of two innocent citizens of Fulani origin. Mustafa Buhari Aliyu and his brother Aliyu Buhari Aliyu, all children of Buhari Aliyu and all residents of Kargarko community in Kaduna State. Credible sources in the course of our investigation reveal that the Police Intelligence Response Team, acting on apparent instruction of a non-criminal bandit in the community by name of Muhammad Sani Dalhatu, alias Al-Bacha, was on a mission to carry out an earlier threat issued to the victim's father by the same criminal bandit. All information and facts on the matter point to the glaring conspiracy of the officers of the IRT to undermine the rule of law in total disregard for human rights and professionalism in order to please the criminal bandit by name of Sani Abacha alias Sani Dalhatu alias Abacha. Our findings further indicate that the following illegal actions of the IRT of the police our further findings indicate that the following illegal actions of the IRT of the police, the Kargarko Emirate Council, as well as the president of the Nigerian Bar Association and other community-based interest groups, wrote to attest the innocence of the victims who are being framed for kidnapping by the police. It is worth noting that no individual shall be arrested without a warrant and detained beyond 24 hours without being charged, without a valid court order. The Nigerian police force is in gross violation of both local and international laws and have chosen to conspire with a non-bandit just to teach the innocent victims and their innocent father a lesson. It is even more.
So the police are now in the business of setting people up, making them look like bandits and stuff like that. Like I say, there's so many different ways where, you know, our rights need to be upheld in our hearts and minds as to why we are appreciative of being in America and why being other places, it may not fare very well for you. Like, they have all this time to be setting people up and accusing them. Of course, you know, luckily they're talking about it, but will anything happen behind these police officers doing this? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe it will this time because they're exposing it this way. But I think that this conversation, as far as what the police are capable of doing, should be a broader conversation.
Worrisome as reports have continued to emerge that the said Sani Muhammad alias Abacha, who is behind the continued incarceration of the two innocent citizens, is a non-bandit who has been recruited into the Nigerian police force under the guise of being an informant to the Nigerian police. This is a man who has been identified as a bandit, a warlord, a criminal who has been able to partake in several kidnaps and ransom-taking activities in Kagero community. It's on record. This is the man that has now turned to be a police informant, conspiring with police officers to be able to harass innocent citizens. It is an appeal that we are making on the Inspector General of Police and the relevant police authorities to call on officers of the intelligence response team to order so that they do not overheat the polity and overheat the system. Accordingly, we condemn in very strong terms the arrest of innocent civilians without any warrant or reasonable cause of action, and more importantly, without any charges before our law courts. We view the continued detention of 2 innocent citizens by the Nigerian police authorities as a dent on the vision of the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which has such.
Again, if they can set up their own, if they can hire a bandit to be a part of their police force and have these operations where they set up innocent people, who are we? Like my one video showcased, the educated American woman that took her ass to Tanzania. She simply rented out space, an Airbnb, to a couple that were American, supposedly Hebrew Israelites. They found in their clothing and their shipment of things that they sent from America, they found bullets and camouflage gear. And they believed that they were set up by somebody, which it ended up being the so-called lawyer that had rented out space to the American woman to begin with, and set them up and sent them to jail, had all kinds of fines, all kinds of issues. One of the lady of the couple passed on from either malaria or COVID, but all that money that they collected to try to get a lawyer, to try to get them out of jail, all that problems over them making up the story or setting them up with bullets in the couple's stuff. It happens a lot. There is lawlessness, as Anja Africa discussed, in Africa, and they look to do whatever they want to do. And I don't understand why Africans are not outraged by these conditions. But again, they find it more important to talk about what Black Americans are doing instead of talking about this conversation. And this video is how long ago? Just 2 days ago. This is talking about all the kidnappings that are happening. And he's claiming that one of the main people that's partakers of the kidnapping is actually working with the police. They're in Nigeria. Why aren't the Nigerians talking about this?
Subscribe fully to the rule of law. We call on the Inspector General of Police to direct the affairs of the Nigerian police force in line with the rule of law so as to imbibe professionalism and respect for human rights for the rank and file of the Nigerian police force. We call on the National Human Rights Commission to investigate the circumstances of the illegal arrest and abduction and detention of Mustafa Buhari Aliyu and Aliyu Buhari Aliyu by the intelligence response team of the Nigerian police force and publish the report accordingly. We call on the Senate and the House of Representatives Committee on Human Rights and Public Petitions to intervene in order to save the state from the consequences of citizens' revolt. We call on the United Nations Commission on Human Rights to intervene in the multiple cases of human rights abuse by the Nigerian police force and call on the unconditional release of the victims who are currently held under dehumanizing conditions without probable cause by the Nigerian police force. We call on the Minister of Police Affairs to intervene and call on the police authorities to order so as to keep track with the vision and philosophy of Mr. President, which is clearly in favor of the rule of law. We demand the unconditional release of the duo of Mustafa Buhari Aliyu and Aliyu Buhari Aliyu from police illegal detention, as the police have nothing against the innocent civilian victims.
We state as a matter of fact that the duo of Mustafa Buhari Aliyu and Aliyu Buhari Aliyu, who are currently being detained by the officers of the police intelligence response team, are law-abiding citizens who are well known with cattle rearing as a legitimate means of livelihood and are not criminals as being portrayed by the police. We advise the police authorities to take into consideration the mood of the country and act with professionalism so as to avert citizens' revolt, which could lead to breakdown of law and order. We demand on all human rights groups and media organizations to call on the police authorities to release the innocent citizens who are unjustly being kept under custody and desist from further abusing citizens' rights. We demand to know if the Nigerian police force has any other agenda by arresting the innocent people on the orders of criminal bandits, and why they are not charging the victims to court as it is required by law. Why did the police intelligence response team arrest without warrants? Why did they ignore the testimony of Kagaro County Emirate Council or the innocence of the two victims? Why the continued detention of the innocent citizens by the police force without just cause? Is the police force trying to provoke crisis in the community? These and many other questions are begging for answers, and we expect that the Nigerian police force.
And the conversation should be more expanded. Again, he is alluding that the police department is corrupt, that they're working with bandits, that they're setting up civilians and putting them in jail and accusing them of being bandits themselves and doing whatever they want to do, however they want to move. There is no limit to their corruption and how they move. And that should be the conversation that Nigerians should be having about all the kidnappings and the corruption and how their president is allowing the citizens to starve and all these other things that's happening in Nigeria. The Naira is shit. All kinds of problems going on in Nigeria. But primarily Nigerians on YouTube always talk about Black Americans instead. It's really bizarre. Let me see what you guys are saying. You said the oldest and most ancient bloodline you feel is called the Tamarikans, or am I pronouncing that right? Tamarikans. I don't know. Indigenous or Aboriginal Indian were enslaved and reclassified to Black, Negro, or color. Exactly, Lynn. Even her mother looked like a Black Native American, Sevengali says. It's messed up also that the recognized Native Americans don't accept them in their tribes and going along with the lies. Anyway, back to topic. Yeah, it is a tragedy. That's why we're having the most issues about what we want to identify as, more so than anybody else in the whole entire world. And it's in 2024, you would not imagine this being the issue, but it is. You said, yeah, those Jamaican Africans. He was an African. He trying so hard to be Jamaican, though. That was a shame. Wag when my youth, Mustaf says. I don't know what that means. Like done. Thank you for liking the video. Please like the video. Hi, Monica. How are you doing, Singh? You said you're from India. How is it over there? Lynn says some Jamaicans have moved to Ghana because the government gave them land there. I saw a video about it on YouTube and the Ghanaians were complaining about it. Oh, did they? Where are they at? They still on that land, or have they been bulldozed yet? Sevengali says basically they are suffering in Africa and it will continue. If you even get sick from the food, you cannot speak on it, or you can get special seasoning or thrown in their prison without food or water. Exactly. Yep. Thanks for liking, Monica. Thank you again. He's an African, you can tell. Bribe or get arrested. That's a surprise because she's white. You guys think that he got fired because she's white. But they can shake down Black Americans. Don't try this on these whites, Lynn says. She has some connection and she is white. Yep. It happened kind of quick. When that video dropped, I think they were fired within a week or two. The reason why Black Americans' DNA shows up to 2% Native American, for Rivers says, is because they are using the Asian Native Americans' blood as a criteria when indigenous Black American blood should. Well, yeah, they're definitely not letting us show that we have more Indian in our blood. Give me money, these people. Exactly. The reason why the African cops got in trouble was probably because the victim was white. If she wasn't, they probably wouldn't be punished. Probably not. Seven Gali says allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Thank you again for that. Fair use. They got punished because she was white. Africa practices colorism. Yep. I believe that our indigenous Indian DNA is why geneticists say our genome is very different from Africans. Non-profit, educational, personal use tips, the balance is in favor of fair use. Exactly. You said, yes, years ago, geneticists said that Black Americans' blood couldn't be identified in other countries. Now, all of a sudden is African. Yeah. It's been done by purpose, on purpose. Very important work you are doing. Thanks, Meb B says. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Even the Smithsonian Institute Bureau of Ethnology 19th Annual Report 1895 says a considerable portion of the blood of the Southern Negro is questionably Indian. Oh, is that right? Thanks for that. Okay, y'all have a blessed day. I cannot take seeing Africans beyond this point. They look evil and remind me of voodoo practitioners. Keep fighting the good fight. I was going to do soon about cultism that they have, and also voodoo and some more information. Videos I can't find right now. I have to look them up, but hopefully I can find those videos and do that. But I am going to do one on OBM as well. Maybe I'll do the next one talking about Yvette Carnell first, and then we'll move to that other video if I can find them. You said, wow, really? That's because the Black American was once called the American Indian. That's what I had heard. That's what I had heard. It's a big secret going around. Thanks for stopping by, Seven Gali. I really appreciate you. Hey, hi, Alexis. Thanks for coming through. And Werner Stevens is from South Africa. Also, thank you for coming through. Please like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. So, in conclusion, because I'm not going to be on here much longer, you know, there's a lot more that Africans could speak on what's happening to their own people in their own country. They have the flexibility now that they're in America or the UK or Canada to speak on their platforms about what is happening on the continent. And I hope that you guys will be encouraged to speak up more for the people that cannot speak up on the continent. That would make more sense for y'all to do. The lady that's being held because she gave a review of the tomato paste, why aren't y'all talking about that? Why aren't y'all outraged about it? Why aren't you talking about what the Chinese are doing to your forests and to your oceans? That would be a good conversation to be had. But instead, y'all focus hyperly on Black Americans, and you have this disdain that is misplaced emotion against what we do when we're not doing anything to you. We're speaking about what's happening to our country and how we're being ill affected behind immigration, you know, which is all immigrants that are illegally entering in America. We're speaking up about that. And we're speaking up about other things that we have now noticed, which is this anti-Black sentiment that many Africans and Caribbeans and Pan-Africans have towards us. That's why I've been doing more videos about it, because it's something that we never paid attention to before. For years upon years, we never paid it no mind until it slapped us in the face. Now we're forced to speak up about what we're noticing, which is a trend, a movement of disdain against Black Americans and how we want to be and how we want to be called. And instead of y'all just respecting that we are not a monolith of people, we don't feel a kinship to Africa like they expect us to. Just accept. Yeah, you have some phony Black Americans running around screaming Africa, 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 but they're not there permanently. Notice that. They speak in the comforts of America. They're not speaking living on the continent of Africa. They visit and come home. That tells you they're not serious about their love for Africa because they refuse to stay, because they know better. But they keep wagging their finger about what Black Americans are doing. Why don't we care? Why aren't we spending our money there? Why aren't we flying over there? Why? Because we don't want to. That's why. The same reason why y'all don't want to be there, because you don't want to be there. But y'all can point fingers at us about what we do, why we're not doing, instead of looking at yourself in the mirror about what you're not doing. It's called scapegoating. And I will continue to bring up these videos in hopes to highlight why Africans are losing and why won't they assist their own brothers and sisters in their own continent with their plight. There's no excuse. You have the YouTube channel. You have all this information at your disposal. You could crank up a live like I do and advocate for the things that affect your continent and your country specific to you. I would implore that you guys be more into that instead of, attacking Black Americans. Attacking us is not benefiting your continent. It's not going to help the conditions on the ground. Hopefully you guys will wake up to that reality. Okay, you said some of the immigrating Africans don't speak out about their country because they claim they are afraid that their family in Africa might get punished for it. Is that what they say? Huh. Well, I guess if they knew their name, but most of these people are anonymous. So I don't know. But that's just another excuse for them not to do anything other than talk against us. So with that being said, I wanted to play some more music to end. If you guys have a selection, let me know. I want to play a couple of songs and then I'm going to go. Howard Hewitt, I played earlier. I wanted to play another song by him. This is I'm For Real. I don't know if you guys remember that song, but I do. I'm going to find another version of that. But let me listen to or give me a selection of what you guys want to hear. I might play 3 songs. Let me play this song. This is old school, 1986. I'm For Real.
mystical. There's magic when I look in your eyes. Oh, but this is no illusion. I never want to lose you. So you'll be with me for the rest of my life. Oh, girl, I want to love you. It's the kind of love that you hold and pray for every day. I pray for you every day. Written no more, darling. It's all over. Your love to me is very serious. I won't play games with your tender heart. And when I look into your eyes and say I love you, oh, that's how I feel. I'm for real, I'm for real. Your love to me is very serious. I won't play games. I won't play games with your tender heart. When I look into your eyes and say I love you, girl, that's how I feel. I'm for real. Hey, I said your love to me is very serious. I won't play games. I won't play games with your tender heart. Into your eyes and say I love you, girl. That's how I feel. I'm for real. Your love to me is very serious. I won't play games with your tender love. When I look into your eyes and say.
Yes, I will play that song last. Don't Leave Me by Blackstreet, but I'm going to play Anthony Hamilton first, and I'm going to look up that song, and that will conclude the live. Thank you all for listening. Please like and share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciate you coming through to listen and spend time with me.
Sitting here, guess I didn't make well. Got time and a story to tell. Started when I was 9 years old. Woke up and daddy was gone. I started hustling and they couldn't tell me nothing. Frontin' in the hood, trying to be somebody. My soul was on empty. I was searching for something. Tried to be good. Tried to keep from trouble. Living too fast. Trying to make good on a hustle. Sometimes it get rough. Coming from a outfit. Times got hard. Yeah. Coming from a outfit. Sometimes you gotta walk the work. Yeah. Coming from a outfit. Sometimes you gotta do a little dirt. Coming from a outfit. Wasn't really looking, guess I found it. 5'3", like brown skin. Coming from the university. Nice style, looking kinda lovely. Didn't know she had much game. Down the ride out, even take the train. Even took her to a poker game. Talking out the fried chicken and sushi. Try to be good. Tried to treat you like a lady. Tried to be a friend. turned out that you were shady. Sometimes I get lonely. Coming from an outlaw, life ain't what they seem to be. Coming from an outlaw, sometimes you get a little angry. Yeah. Coming from an outlaw, sometimes you get the best of me. Coming from an outlaw, well, I'm trying to be good. Wanting nothing but to love somebody. Didn't want to die young. Learning how to try to be my family. Too scared to have kids and do like that again. Coming from that land. I'm time to get lost. Coming from where I'm from. Coming from where I'm from. Time to get home. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you gotta cry a little bit louder. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you gotta fight the pain, yeah. Sometimes you gotta walk alone. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you get a little worried. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes you get lost out of touch. I'm coming from where I'm from. Sometimes I think I pray a little bit too much. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes I get a little scared. Coming from where I'm from. Sometimes I get a little scared. Coming from where I'm from.
Last but not least, what else coming where I'm from is Anthony Hamilton I just played, and now I'm playing Blackstreet. Don't Leave Me. This is 1996. Love this song.
No, baby, no, baby, no, baby. No, no, no. No, baby, take your love away from me. I'll go crazy. No, I'll go real You've got your problems, baby, and I've got mine. Let's just spit it all out, put it together. Yeah. If you say you love me, don't need a thing. If you can, you be there like you used to be. Yeah. I'm searching for the words to make you realize that I really, really want you to stay. Tears of frustration I hold inside, but if you walk away, you make this old man cry. Don't leave me, girl. No, no, please stay with me tonight. Forget my pride. I'm begging you. You're my heart, you're my soul. You got so much control. My love runs deeper than the ocean and sea. But if you sail away, you take a centerpiece of me. Don't leave, no, no, no. Don't leave me, girl. Stay with me tonight.